Welcome into the Paul Farrington Show. Paul, joined by Jack Weinberger and Robert Ziggy Ziegler up at Harvard University for a quick little NFC North update. Some wild rumors going around, some impressive camp performances, joint practices. Went pretty well so far for a couple of the NFC North teams. It was really funny. Right before we started recording here, we go to text Ziggy. Ziggy is normally extremely on it. Like, he keeps everyone in line, and I don't think anyone's surprised by that. But Ziggy keeps everybody in line. And then he's like, "Hey guys, come on, let's get going." As me and Jack are stumbling in, producer Zach may or may not even be here. And today it's noon. We're supposed to record, and Ziggy's like, "Hey," or Jack's like, "Hey, where's Ziggy?" I'm like, "I don't know." So send a few texts over, no response, and we're like, "Okay, like there's more likelihood that something is wrong than that Ziggy's actually." I was
concerned, like legitimately. I was concerned.
I'm like, I'm gonna give him a call right now. I call up Ziggy, doot, and hey, Paul. It's like it actually sounded, Ziggy, like you were sitting in a chair waiting for me to give this call. Like, "Hey, you ready to go?" And you're like, "Sure." Like, "Yeah, when do you want to go?" I'm like 5 minutes ago we were recording. And he's like, "Oh, well, I got a new phone. I guess no messages are coming in." They're like, "Oh, okay."
And that made much more sense.
That made way more sense. Because Ziggy,
because I got an email from my mother last night, and she's like, "Am I going to be able to text you on your new phone?" I'm like, "Of course. What are you talking about? Why would you even ask that?" And it must be because there were texts that weren't going through. And rather than say, "Hey, it doesn't seem like my texts are going through," I just got, "Can I text you on your new phone?" Ziggy, so that's why we're here right now.
Because you usually respond within like 5 minutes.
Well, Ziggy yesterday goes, "Hey, are we still doing the show tomorrow?" I go, "Yeah, you good for it?" And I think, Jack, you said you gave like a thumbs up, and we like picked the time and everything. I was just in my head, I was like, "Yeah, Ziggy's good."
Same.
I'm looking here. Ziggy never answered.
Yeah, I never got that text.
I actually sent you a text like late last night about a keeper league, and then I looked at it, I was like, "Wait a second." As you weren't responding to the show texts, I was like, "Wait, I texted Ziggy last night like 11 and still hasn't gotten back. Like, that's not like him."
Something happened.
I was like, I wonder.
It was concerned.
You never know. He's up in Boston. He's in new territory. He doesn't really know the area that well. But John,
the bad part of town.
Yeah,
but you never know.
Ziggy's here.
So
Ziggy's here.
Anyway, Ziggy is here, and that's great. That's great news. We're going to react to, again, we said a couple rumors and a couple joint practices. Thanks again to Rogue Energy and Two Brothers Brewing for the sponsorships. So let's start, guys. And please, if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to the channel. It would really help us as we're trying to grow this thing out. If you've been enjoying the show, just click the subscribe, send it to a friend, like anything like that. Really helpful. We appreciate it if you do. There was a rumor going around, and this is just a ridiculous story. But I was on my phone earlier today, and Brandon Wilsey is someone who listens to the podcast. I'm sorry if I butcher your name, Brandon, but he DM'd us on Instagram. He's just like, "Hey, like Micah Parsons, what do you think?" Or Micah Parsons to Packers, what do you think?
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons to Packers, what do you think? I was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So I went on to Twitter and I see this barking rumor. This is actually the caption. Barking rumor. Even though I don't think he will be traded, the Packers have a very serious trade offer on the table to the Cowboys for Micah Parsons. Hashtag Go Pack Go. Hashtag Dallas Cowboys. With 2.2 million views.
What would the trade be?
The account was from Ricky Scoops. And not only did Ricky Scoops, Ricky Scoops has 40,000 followers. I don't know how often his things go viral. I'm sorry if Ricky Scoops is beloved by anyone. I just don't know who he is. Ricky Scoops actually had this tweet, and it says, the graphic says "rumor from Ricky" with a picture of Micah Parsons, and on the top and bottom of the picture it says, "Bark breaking news. Wow, breaking news. Wow, breaking."
No, so I went back and looked at Ricky Scoops. He has been on fire this offseason.
But good for Ricky. I mean, but
wow. About a day before George Pickens was traded, he said, "Big Steelers news coming with George Pickens and the Cowboys."
Here goes Ziggy fanning the flames.
Then a couple days later, he said, "I'm hearing that the Steelers are in the market for Jair Alexander and Jalen Ramsey. They will get one of them." So at least with respect to the Steelers, this guy has been on point this offseason. Well, so as ridiculous as Ricky Scoops is, I mean, he's been on it this offseason.
Ziggy, what if I told you he's my Pittsburgh source?
That would be
I would
pretty
believe
funny.
it because your Pittsburgh source is never right.
But no, so then I saw these articles coming out, and it's like Lombardi Ave put out an article, and Athlon Sports and Yahoo Sports. I'm like, what the hell? This is all generated from this Ricky Scoops article about the Packers going after Micah Parsons.
I mean, now I feel bad. We're going to get this whole fan base super excited. It's not going to happen.
Well, I mean, Ziggy's trying to build it back in. Well, Terrence Parsons Jr., Micah's brother, replied to he quote tweeted that post with just like 13 laughing emojis, and then wrote, "It's just laughable to think Micah gets traded," which I agree with. But Ziggy, here's what's funny: is Brandon, who our listener, who I was exchanging some texts with, he's like, "Yeah, but like Ziggy said he might be traded, right? I mean, that could be." And I was like, "Well, I totally disagree with Ziggy on that end." But it was very nice of Brandon. He sparked this show basically. But yeah, so guys, any Packer fan who's getting super excited from this, I would just temper your expectations.
I wonder
here.
what's the bit? Who would Green Bay? Who's involved on Green Bay's side?
So a Lombardi Ave mock trade, so to say.
Okay,
and I believe this is from that.
Matthew Golden.
No. Remember, we said Matthew Golden in a mock trade like a month, maybe 3 weeks ago when this news came out, and a couple Packers fans were like, "No way." But if you're getting
not even for Micah Parsons,
yeah. So here was the Lombardi Ave mock trade. Packers get Micah. The Cowboys get Rashawn Gary, 2026 first, 2026 third, and a 2027 second.
Oh, I'd do it if I was Green Bay.
So Gary first, third this year, second next season.
I'd do it if I was Green Bay.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I would make that trade, 100%.
So it sucks having, in this hypothetical situation here, it sucks giving up a first rounder, but Micah Parsons is 26 years old, and he's you can make the argument he's the best player in football.
You would take Micah with the first overall pick for the next 15 years in the NFL draft.
15
for the next like 6 years.
But yeah, no. If Micah was in the NFL draft next season, you're probably taking
number one
overall pick, unless you fall in love with a quarterback. You're taking Micah Parsons. He's a top 5.
No, Archman is a good-looking guy.
So, Ziggy, what do you think of that mock trade? At least the Lombardi Ave wrote, like, you can't pass this up if you were the Cowboys.
So I think a lot depends on what the Cowboys want to do this year. The thing I worry about is if you trade Rashawn Gary, you now have Micah Parsons and who else? If possible, I really want to keep Rashawn Gary on the Packers, even if that costs more draft capital. So, The Athletic, their trade proposal a few weeks ago was 2026 and 2027 firsts and Romeo Doubs. I think that makes more sense for both teams. The Cowboys get a wide receiver 3 they can bring out of the offense. They stockpile more valuable draft capital. The Packers get to keep Rashawn Gary to play next to Micah Parsons with Van Ness taking on a rotational role. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, if either of those trades are something the Cowboys will actually take, I think some team would probably be willing to outbid them. But the teams that are willing to outbid them would be teams like the Bears, where Micah Parsons probably does not want to go. If it keeps Micah happy, he signs the deal there. I can at least see the trade happening if Jerry Jones gets fed up and says, I don't want to deal with this anymore.
I mean, I know that all of these reports coming out are strictly rumors, and who knows, the authenticity of Ricky Scoops at all. But it definitely seems like, and it would be almost foolish if the Packers were not actually interested. And I bet that there's been at least a conversation, or at least a phone call, I'd say, put out to Dallas, because it's just such a great fit. Micah going to Green Bay. It's just the logistics behind everything, and trading to an NFC rival, and I just go ahead, Ziggy.
You have to make the phone call because you don't want Micah Parsons to get Luka Doncic, right? Where like some team offers a bag of chips for him, and you think, boy, we could have done better than that.
Yeah. So
I don't think Dallas is seriously considering trading him right now. But right now, like, it's a test of Micah Parsons' will, right? If Micah Parsons really says, I'm not going to re-sign with you guys, I'm fed up with Jerry Jones and being in this organization. If he's not going to re-sign, at a certain point, you have to move him or risk losing everything.
I mean, also to see this, again, like, I all respect to him. I've never heard of him, Ricky Scoops. But somebody who I guess has gained some sort of decent credibility, like predicting some things correct. To see this, I guess it opens your eyes a little bit.
It makes you
if you replace Green Bay with Pittsburgh, I'd be like, oh crap! Like I'd be like, all right, there's a chance.
You'd start talking yourself into. Well, that's what these guys do on Twitter, though. They post things in there, even if there's no validity behind it. The fan bases see it and go like, "Oh,
but I wouldn't get my hopes up." But I'd be like,
"No, you'd just be like, you're at the very least, you're glad it's your team in the news."
Yeah, I'd be like, "Wait a minute."
In this regard, so Ziggy, between those two trades that you meant, or the two trades that we've mentioned here, which one would you guys prefer if you were the Packers? Would you rather give up 2 firsts and Dobbs, or do Gary first, third, and then next year's second as well?
I think I'd give 2 firsts and Dobbs.
2 firsts and Dobbs.
I agree. If you want Micah Parsons, you also want to keep your next best defensive end so you can have a formidable duo rather than relying on Lucas Van Ness to like carry you. Giving up an extra first instead of a second and a third at the end of the day. Like, the Packers, what do you care about your 2027 first? You're trying to win now. If you can get a player like Micah.
Yeah. I mean, Micah Parsons is worth 2 first-round picks.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like you get rid of, I mean, Dobbs is good, but you have so many.
Yeah. I always think of the Khalil Mack impact that he had when he went to Chicago that first year. And, that like season alone was worth a first-round pick.
But
he was unreal.
Yeah. If you have Parsons and Gary, that's 2 monsters.
Yep.
Like if you can get Parsons while keeping Gary.
And people are saying Van Ness has looked a lot better this year, a lot faster, different moves. If that's the case, now it completely changes the defense, and that's how you help kind of a reeling cornerback room right now a little bit as well with Hobbs. Well, we'll see. Hobbs should be fine. But last thing before we move on here, I wanted to just touch base on what Ziggy was saying about Micah Parsons' like willpower. I think that Micah internally right now is kind of done with Dallas, but when he has $45 million a year put in front of his face, eventually, that he will give in to that.
100. How can he not?
No. That's my. I think he might be he'll be very vocal about it, and he might even believe I'm not going back to the Cowboys. But at some point, Dallas will give him that contract. Like he's too good not to do it,
and it's impossible to turn it down.
And it's the same thing that happened with Dak. It's the same thing that happened with CD. It for some reason, it's always, as Jerry Jones said the other day, right? 365 days a year, they're a soap opera, which Cowboys fans probably don't like hearing, that their owner wants to keep them in the front page news as opposed to winning football games. But that's how that quote comes off. Doing this with Micah Parsons keeps you in the news. And we'll see next year. I would just be shocked if Micah's not a long-term Cowboy with a monster contract.
It would be an unbelievable mistake on Dallas's end to not make him a Cowboy.
But if there was anywhere that something ridiculous like that was going to happen, it would be Dallas.
But also Dallas.
Well, actually, it would be Cincinnati, and then it would be Dallas.
Dallas is like the Yankees and the Dodgers. Like they have money through the roof. Like there's no reason
for the salary cap.
Yeah, unlike baseball, you can't spend, and unlike the Yankees and the Dodgers, they're not good. When's the last time that the Dodgers and Yankees were relevant in the postseason? Last year. When's the last time the Cowboys were relevant in the postseason? 1995.
Mm-hmm.
Totally different.
I think the Cowboys and Yankees are very similar teams.
They're similar brands, but they're teams. I mean, the Yankees are in the ALCS.
They both go to the playoffs and lose. That's the same thing.
Yeah, but the Yankees won its World Series like within
15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys, it's been 30 years since they've been in the championship game. It's like the Yankees have been in the ALCS, like 5 of the past 8 years?
They won the ALCS last year.
Yeah. All right, I mean, that's relevant. Like, they haven't won a World Series.
Yeah, I think going to the playoffs is also relevant.
But
like Dallas
different. I don't want you comparing winning the ALCS to getting bounced in the first round by the Packers.
Dallas winning 12 games each year is relevant.
But then they lose in the first round.
Okay, so do the Yankees.
But the Yankees don't lose in the first round.
The Yankees lose in the second round. Okay, lose in the second round. Big deal.
No. I mean,
it's all the same
thing. The Cowboys went to the NFC Championship game, 5 of the last 8 years, it's a much different story.
They'd still get the same slack. Oh, Dallas can't win.
But they would be different.
The same thing.
It would be different because they're really not a playoff relevant team. They're a playoff team, but they're not like a Super Bowl contender most years.
You are thrilled to play Dallas in the playoffs. You're saying, "All right, we get the Cowboys, easy win."
Dallas is a contender for the Super Bowl most years.
Do you think
they win 12 games?
Do you think the Bills or the Cowboys have been more like? Do you think there's a difference in their playoff appearances lately? Because
no.
The Bills have been going to AFC Championship games and are a real threat.
They both win 12 games and lose in the playoffs. It's the same thing.
I think there's a different legitimacy to it.
What do you mean, all right, Jay?
Personally, I do.
The Yankees also suck.
So before we dive in to JJ McCarthy and his dominant camp against the Patriots, got to put you guys onto a drink that will help you stay focused as we approach the football season. Our official sponsor, Rogue Energy. As we're all enjoying the relaxation of summer, we know the fall gets busy and you need a little kick to get you through the day. Rogue's clean, zero sugar energy formula gets the job done. No crash, no jitters, just sharp focus and steady energy that actually feels good. And if caffeine's not your thing, they've got Rogue Hydration, a caffeine-free electrolyte line that's perfect for staying sharp and hydrated all day long. The best part? If you're new to Rogue, you can grab a starter kit. You'll get a Rogue Shaker Cup plus 5 custom sample sticks of your choice so you can find your go-to flavor without committing to a full tub. That's actually like a really good deal that people have taken advantage of. These shaker cups are awesome. Like, worth it alone. It's very, I really enjoyed them. And we've got a deal for you as well. 30% off site-wide when you use code Paul at checkout. RogueEnergy.com, code Paul for 30% off. Support our show. Tell our partners that we sent you. Fuel your focus. Stay in the game. Now let's get back to the show. So Ziggy while his phone was being sporadic, the texts that we're going through were texts saying, really good JJ McCarthy day. JJ McCarthy looks good today. Like Ziggy at different hours of the day yesterday was just sending me, even though I was responding to the text, he was just sending me the same message of, man, like, I'm getting excited for JJ McCarthy was basically the theme of it. So one of the tweets that I thought was just awesome is from Andrew Callahan. He's a Patriots reporter for the Boston Herald. The Patriots defense is getting shredded today. JJ McCarthy's 14-16 with 5 touchdowns and two sacks, though, in 11-on-11 periods, covering the tight red zone and full field drills. And then I sent over a post to these guys. I believe it was from the NFL. And it was just JJ dropping dimes.
Well, I was lying in my bed last night. It was like 11:30.
Yeah.
I was debating going out or staying in. Obviously, I stayed in.
Mm-hmm, obviously.
Lying in my bed. And I see your text, and I'm like, oh, what is this nonsense? So I click on it, and it's McCarthy looking like Peyton Manning. And someone like me who
has been a JJ McCarthy hater.
I've been like, not a hater, but just not
doubter.
A doubter, yeah. I watched this like 3 times over. I'm like, geez, I think I responded like those are actually unbelievable.
Mesmerized.
Yeah, I was surprised.
Jack texts back. Those are actually really, really good throws.
I was surprised.
And he was just dropping in the bucket.
I'm like, that's JJ?
Oh, Aaron Jones down the sideline a couple times. I mean, it was just...
And the Pats have good players on the defense, too.
Yeah, there was. I mean, Mike Vrabel's team was just getting torn apart. I sent it over to some Patriots fans who... I mean, they chirped back that... 2 sacks out of 18 or whatever. They're like, 12.5% sack rate's pretty good. I was like, all right, shut up. We take the touchdowns.
No, well, the thing is about that makes me feel really good about this is actually that JJ McCarthy wasn't great the first day. It was up and it was down. But when you've got a young quarterback, the most important thing for seeing how they're going to do in the NFL is, can they learn from their mistakes? Once you show them something and they screw up, are they going to do it better the next time? And consistently throughout training camp, we've heard that JJ McCarthy has had low moments, but immediately afterwards, he goes back in the film room. He looks things over. He thinks, how can I get better? Then he doesn't make the same mistake again. I mean, that's what makes the great quarterbacks in the NFL so great, is that every single year they come back with something new, or they're better at something or another. I am pleased to see that JJ McCarthy, rather than getting frustrated or disappointed, because it sucks. You play the New England Patriots and you don't have a great day in a joint practice where there's a lot riding on you. The season's coming up. That's not fun. To take that, learn from it, and look a lot better the next day, I think is a really promising sign.
Yeah, it's of course it's still practice, so you can only put so much stock into it, but it beats
guys suck in practice all the time.
I mean, it beats him throwing 5 picks.
It beats the other side of this, and I mean, we talked about it with Matthew Golden, comparing him to other players who broke out. This is going to now start to sound crazy, okay? But bear with me here as I say this. When there are really good rookie quarterbacks, a lot of times you see them just dominate these practices. Like Jaden Daniels last year, Dan Quinn was going nuts on him. Aaron Rodgers, right? When he was the backup to Favre in Green Bay, you'd have Greg Jennings and Packers coaches saying like, oh, there's something different about this guy. And I'm not saying that JJ McCarthy is going to be on any of these guys' level, but it's just, this is what you want to see in these moments. All the Packers fans excited about Matthew Golden? You should be, because he's been awesome. Like, and that's a great sign for him being good in the NFL. If he's out there getting locked up, that's a problem. If McCarthy's getting picked off, that's a problem.
He had one toss, JJ, like some good zip on it towards the sideline, put it towards the ground. I think the receiver was slide. Where only like he could have caught the ball
in the practice or the preseason.
In the practice.
Okay.
It was in decent coverage too. I'm like, I've never seen JJ make a throw like that in my entire life.
Hey, well, you've never seen him throw.
Yeah,
I tweeted out. It seriously reminds me of the Happy Gilmore moment when it's like, Happy learned how to putt. It's like, JJ can throw.
Learn how to throw. Yeah, exactly.
JJ can throw.
And one thing I think, if you don't follow the preseason in the NFL very closely, you might not realize that joint practices are actually a much better indicator of where players are at than preseason games. Preseason games are nationally televised. You don't really have control over who you're facing. You're always in like whatever situation the game gives you. So you don't see a lot in preseason. It's mostly about determining who can play depth for us. Joint practices are where you get one-on-ones. It's where you can put your guy in like, okay, we're going to run 4 red zone situations in 40 minutes. Teams are willing to put out their new concepts because unless you play, say, the Patriots in the Super Bowl, you don't really have to worry about it because it's not going on film. And it's not like Kevin O'Connell is going to be calling the Buffalo Bills and say, hey, guess what Mike Vrabel just brought out today? Like, that's not what happens in the NFL. So this is why you'll see every year NFL coaches will say joint practices are the most important part of our offseason. That's when we really feel like we get a good idea of who guys are. So, like, this is what prepares you for the regular season. You want to see your guys do well in this.
And we'll just say, I know I caught a lot of flack for it earlier this offseason when I compared...
Don't say it, Paul. Do not say it.
When I compared JJ McCarthy's mentality to Tom Brady's mentality. But everything you hear from this kid is just great. It really is just great. Yeah, up at the podium, they asked him, I listened to this quote.
There's probably so many mentalities that are
They were asking him about, there are some mentalities, though, that are bad, and you don't want that.
Yes, some are. But like most are in the preseason.
They were asking JJ about his passing skills. He said, and everyone knows, my favorite trait of a quarterback is accuracy. I don't think that that's a crazy thing to say, but a lot of people seem to, like, if you could have a monster athlete. If he can't throw the ball, can't throw the ball.
Anthony Richardson isn't the best quarterback in the NFL.
I think I'm one of, the most accurate guys out there, McCarthy said. Just being able to take it day by day, really hone in on every single throw. And Jack, as JJ said, it's not just, the ball was completed. It's, did I give him a runner's ball? Did I put it right on the pad for him to turn a certain way? So being able to lean into that as one of my strengths is something I always have to be extremely hard on every single throw.
Oh, well, JJ McCarthy says he's one of the most accurate guys in the NFL.
Love that. Love that.
You could probably dig a quote like that from 4,000 quarterbacks.
Yeah, but if Anthony Richardson came out and said, I'm one of the most accurate guys in the league, you'd be like, well,
this would be the same thing. How do you know?
I can support my guy. Let me support my guy, guys. All right.
The accuracy is going to be important because what everyone has said is his reads are more or less always correct. But Anthony Richardson, his reads were more or less always correct too. He was pretty good about that preseason aside.
Ziggy, do you like reads?
Keep working on the accuracy, JJ.
You like reads, Ziggy?
Could be a fun year. Yeah.
I do not like Jaden Reed. He's too fast.
All right, here we go. Ready? I almost had a Ron Burgundy. Like read everything that's written. This episode of the Paul Farrington Show is sponsored by our friends at Two Brothers Brewing Company, located in the western suburbs of Chicago and Warrensville, Illinois. Two Brothers Brewing Company has been crafting award-winning beer since 1996. Their lineup includes 8 year-round beers, like their flagship Domaine DuPage, a smooth, flavorful French country ale, and Prairie Path, a crisp and refreshing golden ale that's packed with flavor and crafted to remove gluten. For the hop fans, check out the crisp and citrusy 30 West, a refreshing, new, year-round West Coast-style IPA. With fall just around the corner and football season kicking off soon, that means the return of Atom Smasher, their fan-favorite Oktoberfest lager, a rich, malty, oak-aged Marzen-style lager that's perfect for tailgates and game day watch parties. You can visit their tap house and brewery in Warrensville or stop by the historic Two Brothers Roadhouse in Aurora, a legendary building once owned by the great Walter Payton. It's pretty cool. Walter Payton owned that building. This season, the Roundhouse is hosting charity events during every Chicago football game. So bring your game day crew, enjoy great food and cold beer, and give back while cheering on the team. Two Brothers Brewing. Follow your passion. Drink ours. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. And again, here's the strawberry vodka lemonade that we've been pumping up. My sister and her friend were over here last night. Loving it.
Hey, it's the weekend too.
Loving it. They were loving it.
You know what's better than Two Brothers on a Friday, Junior?
What?
Two Brothers on a Friday.
Oh, yeah,
We usually don't
100%.
record on Friday.
Weekend's
Like,
here.
it's-
Weekend's here. Let's crack some open.
I started laughing during that ad read, guys, because when I was saying how the Roadhouse used to be owned by Walter Payton, and this, I guess my mind just works in weird ways. My mind instantly went to a fishing trip that I was on a boat owned by Roger Staubach. And we're with it's me, my brother, my dad, another father, and two of our really good friends, his sons. So the six of us go out and we're with these two guys. It was like Randy and something else. And this is down in South Carolina. We're in Myrtle Beach on our family vacation. These are like real South Carolina boys. So we go out fishing and they're going off on certain things and they're talking politics and it's getting crazy on this boat. We go out into the middle of the ocean and one of our friends, Joe, starts feeling a little seasick. So Joe goes into the cabin and while Joe's taking a nap, Randy sees this balloon floating in the middle of the water. And he's like, let's just call him Cole. He's like, Cole, get your gun. And they go into the boat and get their handgun and say, all right, guys, why don't you hop on up? They had like a little, where the captain was, they had a little area where we could all squeeze in and stand there. Like, we're going to try and hit this thing. And we all climb up the ladder and are standing on top of the boat, watching Randy fire with his pistol at this random balloon in the water. Now, you have to remember,
Try to pop it.
Trying to pop it. He's just having fun. I mean, they were fun dudes. They're crazy. But you have to remember now, Joe is inside sleeping. So Joe wakes up and he just hears pop, 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 pop. And he walks outside.
Like what?
Dazed and seasick. And we had just caught some fish. So there's blood on the deck. And he just sees blood all over the deck. And Randy standing there shooting this gun. Smoke all over the place. And he just goes, Randy, where's my family? And then, fortunately, like someone just like, oh, hey, Joe. And he looked up and was like, oh, thank God. But that's where my brain goes when I read Walter Payton owned the Roadhouse Brewery.
That's like an insane,
I don't know how that
insane
works.
path to go down after reading that ad read.
But the Roger Staubach's boat, it was pretty cool. It was a fun fishing trip. Ridiculous. The last thing we're going to talk about is funny here. Speaking of Coles, Colton Pouncey, a Lions reporter here for The Athletic, tweeted out during the joint practice with the Dolphins, that was the most lopsided joint practice I've ever seen. Lions dominated both sides. Producer Zach was texting us too. He's like, apparently we are getting our ass kicked today.
And he's just so anti-Dolphins too right now.
He's done. He's done. You gotta feel bad for producer Zach. But it's funny that a lot of people, and I think we said this earlier in the offseason, have just said that the Lions might regress to the point of not making the playoffs. And whether that's because of the schedule or the coordinators or the offensive linemen, you take your pick what excuse you want to use. The Lions are not missing the playoffs. Like, this is arguably the best team in football.
It's more of a look on the Dolphins who are being criticized now for like sucking and they just get their ass kicked.
Yeah, like I'm not anyone who says the Lions are not making the playoffs. I'm just not having that conversation anymore. Like, you could say they might not win 15 games. And I'll say that's true. Yeah, they'll probably win like 11 or 12. But to pretend like the Lions are out of this is just insane to me. Like this team. Yeah, the Dolphins have been struggling, but I don't care. They're a great football team.
When it wasn't just the Lions guys either. Nick Baumgartner, a draft analyst who was there, said the Lions just out everything to the Dolphins for 2 full hours out here. Like, it's you don't want to hear that, right? The Dolphins were worse than everything. Chop Robinson was carted off, though admittedly he ended up being okay. But it's hearing the offense carve up a Dolphins defense that has a lot of decent players on it, right? I think people forget guys like Bradley Chubb are on this Dolphins team. The Lions defense dealing with a Dolphins offense that's pretty good, right? Like, anytime you've got Tua, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek, the running backs, like, that's not a bad offense. People think the Dolphins are a garbage team and are going to be in the garbage, but absolutely dominating a team that will be frisky, I think, for the AFC wildcard spot. You have to feel good about that.
I think it's just funny how the amount of, including including producer Zach here, the amount of
Pessimism.
people who like do not believe at all in the Dolphins, and just to go out and see this, I find that hysterical.
They've not been treated.
Where did this take
kindly.
place? Where was this joint practice?
Where's the game?
It was in Miami.
Yeah, down in Miami.
Miami.
Yeah, it's not.
So the Lions are out of their natural territory. It's hot. It's humid. You know, the Dolphins, it wasn't in their stadium, but they're so confident in how they play down there. They like set up their stadium to have the sun beating down on the opposing team.
It just got murdered.
Which is a really smart strategy, I will say.
Oh,
I
time.
mean, you only do that strategy if you're not confident at all that you can beat them playing football. So you try and use the sun.
Every
whatever,
time
man.
that I've seen the Steelers play in Miami, we've had players puking on the field.
No, I mean,
You know, they're very good at it. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars to get an edge in their stadium because they know they're not particularly good at football.
Hey, anyway,
you
anyhow.
don't see the Packers doing that at Lambeau. You don't see the Vikings doing that.
Anyway, anyhow. Well, Vikings doing some other things, but
no, but it's one set of practices. Day 2 looked a little bit better for Miami. But anytime, these are all NFL players, and guys in these practices are trying to do their best, right? They're not taking reps off. Coming in and dog walking an NFL team at anything at any point in the season, joint practices or a game, you have to feel pretty good about.
Dude, this Seth Wickersham book, American Kings, a biography of the quarterback, the one that's brought a lot of attention because it has Caleb Williams saying he didn't want to go to the Bears, and his father saying he won't play for them, that stuff. This is gonna be wild when it comes out. After we're not being paid to promote this book. I'm just reading an article
You
here.
shouldn't read this book.
But I mean the stories that people are gonna like. There will be stories coming out after it comes out.
So it's obnoxious because we've heard stories about what this book says for like half a year now.
Yeah, but I'm just reading here. It's talking about Belichick and Sean Payton not liking. Well, I guess you could loop in Jack to this too. You probably should have, Seth. Belichick was not particularly impressed with Caleb. Thought he was too quick to leave the pocket, too slow to see receivers get open. Sean Payton, despite all the elements of a prodigy, including the vibe of being a legend in his own mind, he overlooked too many easy completions at USC.
Oh, well, so given that Bill Belichick has such a great track record developing offensive players, and Sean Payton has done such a great job historically developing quarterbacks, we should really care what these guys have to say.
Look. When you combine Belichick, Sean Payton, and Jack,
how many times have I said I could be a GM in the NFL? Better than more than half of these guys.
If Jack
I would have saved the Panthers. I would have saved the Bears.
Jack would have had Mason Rudolph probably. If you're a Panthers or Bears fan, you probably would have Mason Rudolph heading into the season.
Better than those two.
On a $55 million a year contract, maybe $60 million.
Better than those other two.
We need this guy. We need him. Have you seen him? This guy gets it done. It would be, it'd be something.
I mean, look, at this point, Bears fans shouldn't care about this at all. Carl and Caleb Williams were obviously correct to be worried about the coaches the Bears had. What's the evidence? They were some of the worst in the league and immediately cleaned house.
Yeah.
That's all over now. It's a new situation. You've got a completely new staff.
I'm tired of the Caleb Williams. I'm tired of the Caleb Williams hate from a year and a half ago. To be fair, I also just brought it up again, but I'm not doing that anymore. We'll see him on September 9th, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th, whatever it is, against the Vikings on Monday Night Football. 5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's the 8th. I'm counting days of the week in my head right now. All right, before I before I continue on in my own imagination, let's wrap this thing up here. We will see you guys next week. Next episode coming out, the fantasy football mock draft. It's going to be a fun one. I think anyone who plays in fantasy, tune in for some just brilliant analysis and insight, and
some laughably terrible analysis and insight.
Fair. We'll see you then.
That's a dig right at me.